Hi there, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Feliz Navidad, or whatever you celebrate this time of year, as long as you're having fun and doing the whole gift giving type of thing. If you do that, that's what we're here for today. We're looking at a little bit of a gift giving guide and a little bit of conversation. You'll find out about like younger Aaron's Christmases and what my very favorite Christmas present that I ever got was. And I think you might be surprised. So let's dive into some gift giving. We'll talk about stuff you can buy for your physical media lovers, the people out there that just want to get some different, uniquely cool stuff. And be sure to stay all the way to the end because you never know what surprises will come up. So here we go. Hi there, and welcome back to the Call to Cinema, where we are talking about Christmas and the holidays in general. So basically, we're going to look at some different gift giving guides here and see exactly what you can get your significant other for partner, friend, kid for Christmas this year. We're going to look at physical media, video games, and we'll be looking at some other stuff as well. We'll dive into some different places and I guess one of the best places to start is if you're a super physical media person, if you're watching my channel, and maybe if you're actually subscribed to my Patreon. Well, if not, there's a great gift right there. But in all seriousness, uh, then there's something that we could kind of talk about, and I guess we'll start with that. And as we go through this, I'm going to give you some like ideas and some thoughts, and I'll be harkening back on some of my previous Christmases and some of the best gifts that I ever got. But first, let's mention this. Vinegar Syndrome's website. This is the partners only month right now. But from January the 1st to January the 7th, I'm going to guess, they will be having their subscriber week. And what exactly does the subscriber week mean? It means that it is your one time in the year to break out the big bucks and get a subscription to Vinegar Syndrome for their entire year. This is their 10th anniversary year. So, what do I think? I think this is a good year if you want to, if you've got the bones to subscribe. This is going to be a good year to do it. There's going to be a lot of like 4Ks and sets and a lot of big surprises, I think, coming out in this year. Vinegar Syndrome's got their 10th year coming up, and they will go all out for their anniversary, and I'm kind of excited to see what they will. So if you can't get your, of course, this starts on January the 1st, so how can you get your better half or yourself subscription to Vinegar Syndrome? Well, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can use a gift card to, like, may not have the total money for it, but you can use a gift card to go towards it. And especially if you know that's something that they like. If they're not a Vinegar Syndrome subscriber, and you've noticed that they've been buying a lot of Vinegar Syndrome or watching my channel a lot, or channels like mine that talk about these type of titles, whether it be Vinegar Syndrome or Severin, maybe give them a gift card towards it might be a nice idea, because they can put that towards a nice subscription, and that means that they're not just opening a gift from you on and in December 25th, but they're opening a gift from you every single month of next year. And that, my friends, is a gift that keeps on giving. That's a pretty big start and a pretty expensive ask. And some of these things are going to be expensive. Some of these are going to be not so pricey on here. The other things that I can recommend is check out my merch store. Yeah, but I don't have any new merch, so we'll leave that for for now. Let's talk about one of my favorite Christmas that I ever had. I remember my unfortunately my grandmother, both my grandmothers have passed away, but I remember one year my grandmother on my pin side, she got me this. I didn't know what it was. It was in a big box, and it was wrapped, and I was so excited. I had no idea. Now, this was around the time that I was like a comic collector. I hadn't really gotten into like a lot of movie collecting at the time. So I didn't I thought, it was too big for comics. Could be like something video game, could be something I played a lot of Rifts and D&D at the time. I wasn't exactly sure what it could be. Now, what I used to love to do is I would stay up late watching movies and TV and like renting movies and like rent a whole bunch of like VHS tapes. And whenever I did, I would grab my go-to snack every time. And this wasn't chips or salsa or anything like that. It was Ritz crackers. It was dill pickles, like, and it was cheese. It was a block of cheese. I would grab like a whole bunch of Ritz crackers and some dill pickles and some cheese, and I'd sit back and have a cup of tea, and I'd just watch and just get enamored with the films that I was watching at the time. And for me, that was kind of my Nirvana place, my place to go. But I never really thought anybody kind of noticed that. But she did. And inside that box on Christmas, when I opened it up, was a gigantic, uh, big value size bottle of pickles, my favorite brand, and a huge thing of Ritz crackers and a big block of cheese. It was one of the best gifts I ever got. And the reasoning behind it being one of the best gifts I ever got, because it came directly from the heart. And it showed to me that it didn't matter like what it was or what the cost was or anything like that. It was just that she took the time to know what I liked and know what I wanted, and in a weird way, better than I did myself. And I've never, ever forgotten it. It's the type of thing that as a dad, always thought about. Like I always was giving the cool gifts, but I was always hoping that I was giving a gift that hit the kids like where they in the heart, where and hopefully I'm able to do a little bit of what my grandmother did back then. Now let's look at a certain company for releases, and right now I'd say one of the big ones to look towards is Arrow. They do a lot of stuff. And they're doing having a sale right now, so obviously we can always go with with some of the releases that they put out, or go with the gift card. But I'm going to give you some recommendations. And right now, you can see the Arrow sale is going on. If you didn't get the Shot Scope Volume One set, if you got a fan of like the Shaw Brothers films, and I know there's a lot of them out there. My better half's a huge fan of Shaw Brothers. If they don't have Volume One, it's definitely worth picking up, especially right now where it's on sale. Volume Two just came out. It's on a red box. It's nice and snazzy. And trust me, if they got Volume One and they haven't ordered Volume Two themselves yet, it's one that they're really going to enjoy. And if you have a fan of like westerns out there, there is the Vengeance Trail set, and there's a Sartana set as well. Both of those sets have some great spaghetti westerns. So if you've got a spaghetti western fan in your collection, then either one of those will definitely suffice. He came from the swamps in Weird, Wisconsin, the Bill Rebane collection. If you have somebody that likes like low budget regional horror that collects kind of the weirder, more offbeat stuff, or maybe they're independent filmmaker wannabes themselves. These are both really good sets. I think I would recommend the He Came from the Swamp one above the Weird Wisconsin, but if they already got the Weird Wisconsin, the He Came from the Swamp, Weird Wisconsin is a nice one to get. Along with that line, there's also the Cold War Creatures from four films from Sam Katzman, and they have some great, not just some really fun, like kind of cheesy fun films like The Giant Cloud, The Werewolf, but it also has some great features in there. Arrow is really known for doing their feature stuff, but maybe you got somebody that wants the more, I'm not going to say more, the different type of films, the more, a little bit more depressing, but a little, kind of unique films of like kind of bigger filmmakers. Then we have the Fassbender set there. There's actually a couple Fassbender sets out, three I think in total that you can actually collect, and a couple of Claude Chabrol, known as the French Hitchcock, that I would definitely recommend. If you got somebody that likes Giallos, Arrow put out a lot of Giallo sets, from the Sergio Martino collection to the Giallo Black, the Giallo Red, and I think to the Giallo Yellow. The red and the yellow were kind of like re-releases of films that were already put out before, and the Black limited edition set, that one is basically a set of three that weren't previously released. So it's going to be if you've got the other ones you're not quite sure, and they don't have that box set, you're fairly safe when it comes to that one there. And that's one of the neat things about like when it comes to collecting, whether it be like a genre or a movie or a or a company or a brand, you'll know that some of your friends, some of your family, some of your loved ones collect certain types of films, and maybe not just certain types. Maybe they collect certain companies. You'll have your Vinegar Syndrome lovers, your Arrow lovers, your people that collect Kino, Mill Creek, that collect Severin, and it's good to like look at their collections and see exactly kind of what they got, what's a what there's a proliferation of in their collection. But not everybody is going for movies this year. Maybe some people want video games, and when that becomes the case, well, we're gonna use EB Games as an example here. But you can of course get them from your local like Target or Best Buy or Walmart, depending on who has what. But it's just to make it easier because I we can go into game sections, looking at different games, consoles. Let's do it like this. So let's look at GameStop here, which used to be called be Games in Canada, but now it's switched over to being GameStop. So this right here is, of course, the Nintendo Switch stuff. Nintendo Switch is one of the bigger and better selling consoles. It's more family friendly, but it hasn't stopped them from putting out some more like of the like darker, adulter titles as well. Um, but I do find that when it's Nintendo, if it's a Nintendo made game, you do tend to get like a better game overall. Let's be honest, their Zelda game was pretty incredible, and like we needed to get up to Elden Ring before, on in all honesty, I think you could kind of pass it. But they had some great stuff here, especially if you got like some younger people or people that just don't have a Switch yet. I know it's pretty big in its life cycle, and there's been a couple of revisions on the Switch, but there's some great titles from the Splatoon 3. If you want a shooter that's not like Call of Duty or something like that, but is a ton of fun and just kind of different and unique. Splatoon series has been really good. Everybody owns it, I think, but Mario Kart Deluxe 8. If you don't, like seriously, it's a really good one. Or maybe you don't actually have a Switch. Where would you go with that? Well, there are the Switch lights if you want to like not break the bank, and maybe you have like a kid that wants to have a Switch or maybe something they can travel with, or if you have like a couple of kids where one's going to be watching the TV or they both want to reach Switch, then the Switch Lite is a fun title there. But if you can do it, the best version is always going to be the Nintendo Switch OLED right now. And as you can see, it is a bit pricey. It's at $449. It has a great OLED screen. It's a bit bigger than the original Switch. You can still get the original Switch, by the way, which is a great choice as well. The good thing about the getting an actual Switch over Switch Lite, one of the big pluses when it comes to that, is going to be the fact that you can detach the Switch Joy Cons, the controllers, and then you can actually, and also you can actually attach the Switch to the television and play on the TV. You can't do that on the Switch Lite. It's a handheld only. And if you have any drifting issues with the Switch Joy Cons, then you can detach them and buy new ones or send them into the Joy-Con drift program with Nintendo. Uh, but you can't do that with the Switch Lite because the Joy-Cons don't detach. It's on its own. So that is literally a handheld. So once drifting happens there, there's not a heck of a lot so far that you can do about it. Now, if you are a PC gamer and you want to work with the handheld stuff as well, I haven't mentioned it here. I'm not sure if they have it here, but we'll check and see if they have the Steam Deck, which has been a very big one for people and a hard one to get though. And looks like you got them. Do we have these here? We'll go to the Steam Deck's original. Site. Now I'm not quite sure. It's so close to Christmas. If you don't have one of these ordered or they're not at your local like store, they may not be easy to get. But the Steam Deck is a great piece of technology that's been able to actually bypass the whole drifting thing. They've already gotten rid of that on there, and as you can see, as it's going through here, luckily there's no sounds. We're not going to get like dinged. But the Steam Deck is an incredible system and something that is definitely worth owning. As you can see, they are pretty pricey here. You can choose different different bundles. the best, yeah, in my opinion, out of all these here, it's probably the medium bundle. It's 659. Again, it says it's expected delivery date 1 to 2 weeks. So fingers crossed you'll be able to get it in time. Again, this is a much of a pricier one, but if you have somebody out there that's a real hardcore gamer, the Steam Deck has actually been a really great choice for people. And I would love to get one myself. It's just they're just way too up there price wise for me. And it's also looking at the PlayStation because PlayStation 5 consoles have just recently become more available than they were before. For the longest time, you couldn't find a PlayStation 5 console to save your life. And there's different like versions of the console now. There's the 2022 version of the console, which has pretty much some coppering and stuff taken out. But it's a really good. It's a really well done revision for the console. And I was kind of worried that it wasn't going to be. You can see there's a lot of these are not available. So what you got to look for is you have to look for especially if you're going to an EB Games or something like that. Now I know Best Buy has has this bundle right here, the God of War Ragnarok bundle. So again, God of War Ragnarok's a fantastic game. God of War games in general, but this one's supposed to be amazing. Now you have two different versions to choose from here. If you are a physical media person and you want to grab this edition right here, it plays 4K. So if you want a 4K player and you don't want to break the bank buying a 4K player and a game system separately, this is a good way to do that. It has a very good like updated controller. There are some great games exclusives for the PlayStation 5: God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and of course the Spider-Man game with the Miles Morales add-on, as well as the upcoming Wolverine game and so much more. So there's a lot to like about the Sony PlayStation 5. However, there is also a digital version of the Sony PlayStation 5, and let's look at that as well. Now, the Sony PlayStation digital version is exactly the same as the physical version, except for one little thing. You do not have, you can't, obviously, you cannot, it's digital only, so you can't put any discs in there. You're not going to be able to play any 4Ks. But if that's not if you already got a 4K player or you just want a system, the specs on the inside are exactly the same. You're not going to be losing anything with the digital version. Now, the one place that I would kind of be more concerned is if you live in an area like mine, like in Morocco or some other area like that, where the Sony store is not exactly available in your country. But it's easy like to make an account over to, like, I can make the Canadian account to use the digital version here. Now that being said, it's easier if I can get like the physical releases, but I would prefer. I have a 4K player and an Xbox Series X. If I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5, I'm probably going to get the digital version because I really don't need the physical releases for the PlayStation 5. I have my Canadian PlayStation account and I can buy my stuff from there. The only other downside is if you live in an area where there's like EB Games or GameStop or any other game trading stores, you on digital version you do have to buy when the sales are on because you're not going to get them for the price that you might get, like say an old secondhand or used copy in another store for. And speaking of Xbox Series X, let's kind of dive into that one here as well. Xbox Series X bundle has been extremely easy to get for a while. There's the Series X and the Series S. Now, this is that one is a physical one, which is the Series X, and one is a digital one, which is the Series S. Make sure you're not looking at the 1X or the 1S because that's last generation. The one thing that I would say is that I would I would recommend getting the Series X because unlike the physical edition of uh, of the PlayStation, there is a big difference, and the biggest difference with that is going to be that there's different hardware underneath the underneath there. And the Series S is a bit of a downgrade. The Series S is something to get if you've already got a Series X and you want to have the play in your bedroom and you want like to have like a system there in the bedroom. But as for the rest of it, that's something that I have to say go for the X over the S, as opposed to the reverse for the PlayStation. Get the digital over the physical disc edition, unless physical disc edition is either the same price or has the ability to just I lost my train of thought there, to be able to get it at the same time. So let's just stop this here for a minute, and I'll come back and we'll look at some other gift giving options.